Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Mike.
Yes, and this is the Board Game Rundown. I'm very excited. Got my good buddy Mike here. He's from 3rd World Studios. We're gonna, well, you know, we talk all the time anyways.
There we
Whiskey
go.
Wednesday, other random stuff
Yeah.
we do all the time. So Mike, we did a demo of Charcuterie. Let's just be redundant. Tell us about Charcuterie real quick.
Sure, yeah. Charcuterie, the board game. What's the green and the red?
It's just to confuse you.
Good, it's working. Charcuterie, the board game. I split, you choose. Tile drafting game.
Yep.
All hand-drawn art. You're hosting a charcuterie party. You're going to present your guest with piles of tiles of food. They're going to get pick. You're going to put them on your board based on a few rules. Make it all like prettified. And
Right.
then you're doing it based on a few rules and public objectives. So like cheese and meats and crackers all want to do a certain thing to get you points. And then a couple rounds through, 15 to 20 minutes, 2 to 6 players. Score your points.
We played a 3-player game with Teach, with Spencer, who is one of my favorite people, but has the worst AP a lot of the time. And it
Yeah.
was still 20 minutes,
Yeah.
if that. It was
Yeah.
super fast.
Yeah, it's not, it's
so
not a complicated game. It's for non-gamers and gamers. It's got enough strategy. It's got some cards, upgraded cards, so once you play, you can make them a little bit harder for
Right.
yourself. So it's got replayability
And one of the things, and I say this a lot, but I mean it, is that when games like that I really like is I can roll into like Thanksgiving with that game in my bag, and
Yeah.
everybody's going to want to play it, even the non-gamers,
Yeah,
right,
for
that
sure.
only play games with me at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And they might even then go, oh, I really like that. I kind of want to go get it. Where can I get it?
Yeah.
You know, and stuff. Because that happens too. And so, yeah, that's awesome. And such like a, I mean, well, so the 3 titles that I associate with 3rd World are all completely different.
They are completely different.
They're all completely different.
Yeah.
And I love all of them.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, you cast that net to get as many people into the hobby or
Well, you
people
know,
that are
you
in the hobby to play.
pigeonholed right into just one thing. So another
Oh,
one.
they only do co-ops, or oh, they only do that. No,
Right.
we want people to come in and play.
Right, because you got mission control, and it's like, oh, they only do space. No.
No. Or co-op. No.
Right. No. No. Well, and then you know, Stuff a Legend.
Yep.
Also, Hidden Trader, semi-co-op.
Shifting trader.
Yeah.
You can really mess with people.
It's really
Yeah.
wild. It's
Yeah.
really wild, and
Yeah.
we have a video of that also.
We
but
did that yesterday.
The dynamics in that, because are unique. Like, there are other games similar, but Stuff a Legend has things that are unique that no other games do, which I think is fantastic. And plus, the IP, like, and the art and everything that goes in with that is like, oh, it's so rich.
Yeah,
It's so
Kevin
rich.
doing the design and the thematic designer that he is just made sure that, because the story goes back to 2008 when the first graphic novel came out.
Right.
And Kevin made sure that everything in the game was thematic to the characters in the story, because if you know the story and you know why Max or why this or why that, like, he made sure that worked. And then the art that Charles does is just bonkers.
It
It's
is.
so good.
It is the best.
Yeah.
And I will, man, I had something and I lost it. But
You're welcome.
yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, again, when you've got games that do like, oh, you've played similar, I can build on what you already know, but like this one's going to blow you away because we're coming out of left field with this
Yeah.
one. And we played it at Origins.
Yeah.
And man, it was like, and I was tired, but I was still like, oh man, I don't really know who to trust
That's great.
in the way you do it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, mission control, we talk about it all the time.
Thank you, guys.
Genuinely love, we genuinely love
I
it.
appreciate it.
We're super excited. We gave one away. Actually, this is funny. I'm going to say it on camera here, but the guy who won our giveaway.
Yeah. Eric.
Yeah, Eric. I asked him, I said, hey, I can ship you your game. You'll have it by the end of the week. Or I can bring it to Gen Con and ask Corey and Donnie to sign it for you, and then we'll send it to you. He's like, oh, yeah, get it signed if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And that's just also a testament to Corey and Donnie, because then I was like, I knew Donnie was watching, and I'm like, wow, I'm just put him on the spot.
Yeah.
But Donnie doesn't care. You know, they don't care.
I think 11 to 12 today. I don't know when this is going to go up, but 11 to 12 today, they're there doing a meet and greet.
Oh.
And then they'll be around for the rest of the day.
They'll be around. They're going to be here in the booth.
And the weekend. I think they leave us sometime on Sunday. So
Yeah. So, I mean,
good guys.
I love it. I love everything you guys do over there.
Thank you.
But I know you don't just do stuff
I don't.
with 3rd World Studios.
I don't.
What
Feels like it.
What's the one that you can talk the most about?
Game wise or
Game wise.
So.
And it's still not a ton, but I just wanted to put Mike.
Sure. Yeah.
Mike's got a very cool project in the work. Well, he's got a couple very cool projects, but one, there was a nice little hype video that dropped.
There was, yeah. So, so me, Bobby West, and Keith Ward designed a game for Van Ryder. That's a little bit like Tales of the Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
And this might piss some people off better.
It'll be fine. You can have both. Both can exist in the same universe.
You can. And Tales is great, but this is a little bit more connected of a story.
Sure.
So it's Greek mythology. You are like Alexander the Great's in it. You're a character that's building up their infamy, going through the land, having encounters, building up your character, and then throughout the game there might be some unlocks.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be, and Van Ryder, if you're familiar with what they do, like they're going to knock it out of the park.
Right, right.
The things they're going to put in that game, the things that we've created, the book itself on the narrative side of it is approximately 120,000 words.
Woo!
So like your encounters have levels and everything has to have like 3 iterations of what you can do. So there's a lot of narrative going on, a lot of world building, story building going on in that game, and that we're super excited about talking more about it.
Yeah, and so if you're into those storytelling style games, like stay tuned because obviously we're gonna keep pestering Mike. Mike's awesome. He comes around every time he's got stuff.
We'll do it. And Greek mythology. I think that's the fun part about it.
Man, I love Greek mythology. Like, give it to me.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
I'm into it.
I'm not sure really what I can say about it. Like, I want to talk more, so we'll be talking more. But I don't want AJ to hate me. So.
No. It's all good. You know what? This would be a missed opportunity if we did not talk about CuseCon. So
sure, that's another thing I do.
Yeah. Mike is a man that wears many hats. So he also runs. And were you the brainchild, or you just in on it? Okay, so tell everybody about CuseCon. Give us a little CuseCon.
I moved up to Syracuse, New York in 2008, stayed for my master's and went to Syracuse University, and then fell into the hobby. My neighbors introduced me to Arkham Horror.
Oh, right on.
So I fell in the deep end. And then I got so hooked, I started going to conventions, and then started a little meetup in the area, and some people started rumbling, like, we should have our own convention. I'm like, we should have our own convention. So then trying to think about and wrap my head around what that would take, we had a weekly meetup every Tuesday. And then CuseCon started in 2019, so just before the pandemic. Had the ball rolling, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden that hit. But the community has been so loyal and so responsive to everything that's going on.
Right.
Which I'm also a big proponent of, support local and be in your community. So they've been such supporters of everything CuseCon, whether it's tabletop day or we meet at a local brewery every Tuesday who does everything local. So
right.
There are some amazing people, and it's just snowballed into a yearly thing where a bunch of people come.
It's legit, man. Like, I love the buzz, the hype, like everything around it, and you guys do a lot of very cool things there. And then if you even are close or not close, but you want to hit a convention that's unique, like CuseCon's a really good opportunity.
Yeah, it's small. It's less than 500 people, but it really it's got that intimate feel where you recognize the faces that are coming.
Trust me, Gen Con's amazing, but those small cons are the best because you feel like you know everybody. Even if you didn't play games with a lot of people, the next year you come back and you're like, I know you. Oh, it was last year. CuseCon. We played.
And a lot of them, there was one person that introduced themselves. They flew by themselves from Oklahoma. They're like, oh, I saw it. I used to grow up in the area. Like, I'm just coming to the con. And then, you see them every year. It's just, I love that feel. I love this. But I'm very lucky to be where I am and know the amount of people that I do.
Oh, sure.
Which a lot of them, support me in other ways. But they do come to CuseCon. But walking around this, being able to see people that live on the West Coast or live in Canada that I don't get to see all the time.
Right.
That's what this is for me, being around this energy. But then being at CuseCon where it's 24 hours of just playing games with friends.
And you're, gaming. Yeah. Just gaming. Because here, in Origins and Gamma, you're hustling, you're working, you're pitching,
Haven't played a game.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't even played a game yet?
Haven't played a game.
Oh my gosh, we got to fix that today.
But here, it's not about that. Here, it's about this.
Yeah.
It's about what we did over. Technically, we played Charcuterie.
Yeah, but I don't really count that as playing a game. I learned a game, but we're doing a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more about this. It's more about the connection, seeing people I haven't seen since June, which seems weird.
Right. But
or
again,
last Gen Con.
But you may not see these people again until CuseCon, which is September
21st.
And then, or
PAX.
Maybe not till next year.
Yeah,
sometime.
there are people, I saw Colin over at Flat River. I saw him at Gamma. But I hadn't seen him because of COVID in 2 years.
Oh, sure.
Or Ross Thompson, I haven't seen
and so,
I don't even know how long since I got a hug from him. It's just, that's the kind of thing that this does for me.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm not here doing this, I'm running around talking to you guys. I'm talking to meeting up with my old friends, trying to meet new friends, make new friends and all that stuff.
And we're all friends. We just don't know it yet.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
You're only strangers once.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So CuseCon, huge.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it. It's awesome because before I started the channel, I was looking at, because I used to, I still am part of a local group in our area.
Right.
And we hosted proto spiels, and we would do big monthly meetups where it's like maybe like 60 people, and we'd get like a hotel. And it was like, we should do a convention.
Mm-hmm.
And then the local game store was like, hey, Tim, we want to do a YouTube channel. I'm like, I should do a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So then that turned into that. So I put basically all my free time into that.
Yeah.
And then also COVID happened. And so like it took a while to sort of build up that group again. We still do like monthly meetups and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I love talking to other people that just love the same stuff I do, whether we're doing convention, talking about putting together conventions, designing games, talking about games, talking shop. I met so-and-so, they're great, blah, blah, blah. Did you see that this happened? Like, I live for this, man. It's the best.
I've been a part of a lot of things, and since being in the game industry, genuinely, I have never met a better bunch of people. Like 98% of the industry, they're just genuine human beings.
Seriously.
To even strangers, like, hey, come sit down, play a game. I don't know you, but we're going to live in this fantasy world for 2 hours. Like,
we were playing games last night. Andrew Stiles like wanders into the room we're in. He goes, hey, and I'm like, hey. So he sits down, him and one of his design partners, who have never played a game IRL before together because they've designed virtually together. So they're playing with us, and then another dude comes down like, oh, do you have a seat?
Play.
Have a seat.
Look at what happened at Origins.
Yeah.
With the 3 hours of going through that thing with West and Sam was there. It's just...
Yeah, David Diaz, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so many people there. And it was just like spontaneous craziness.
It's a beautiful thing to see. Like, when I remember at CuseCon 2019, I was going from the registration desk up to the trivia because I had to bring the prizes.
Right.
And I'm walking the atrium, and there's tables, and it's at 10 o'clock at night, and people are just playing games, and you hear laughter, and you hear those moments of, ah.
Right.
And I'm walking, and I'm looking like, yeah, man, I did this. Like, I brought this together, and that's been the fire from the beginning to keep doing what I'm doing with that.
Yeah. Well, you put good out in the world, man, good comes back to you.
And it's the same thing in games. Like, when you design a game, you want to make sure that those moments or those things are happening for people at their tables, at their house, with their family, whatever. So it's the same kind of drive, whether it's CuseCon or developing games for 3WS or designing games for other companies.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing, and if you can keep that level, you're doing good stuff.
Well, and again, talk about how one thing feeds into another, and this is my segue into the full 42. Because you
we
also
talked about that. Yeah.
We do. You do so many things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what do you know Mike from? Well, like, pick a thing. You can like just pull down a thing, and you're like, well, this.
I don't stop.
It's awesome.
I love doing this stuff. But the full 42 happened because of CuseCon.
Oh, okay.
And because of COVID. So CuseCon happened in 2019, and then COVID happened, so we couldn't do it. So to keep some sort of semblance in a weekly meetup for the community, I did this new thing called Zoom.
Right.
And I had a weekly Tuesday guest, and we would just on Zoom talk like we're doing now. Like, how'd you get into the industry? What do you do? Where can people find you?
Yes.
And right around the time that Chris Strain and Breaking Games was doing the expansions for Asking for Troubles. And I'm on the record as saying this, Troubles is amazing.
Yeah.
I loved that game before I knew Chris or even talked to Chris. So I see the Kickstarter, I know I'm backing it, and I'm like, hey Chris, I do the show, like, would you be interested? He's like, yeah, absolutely, I'd be interested. And we did the show, it was about an hour and a half, we talked about Star Wars, we talked about the game, we talked about his partner Aaron doing the game with him. And I was like, thanks man, like, this was great, hope everyone had a good time, close. Send a message, dude, thanks for your time, that was great. And he responds back like, yeah, that was awesome, I could do that all day. And my response was, why don't we?
Right.
I was like, yeah, why don't we? And then we start the next month. That was October, November of 2020. So the next month was like, what can we do? How can we do this? Let's do this. He did the logo. We came up with the name. That January, he and I went live with the first full 42. And it's been 2.5 years of just guests and fun and top fives and games. It's been a wild, unbelievable ride.
It's every 18. Monday at 9-ish.
It depends on who's running.
That's all right.
For you, Chris.
On our Wednesdays, we're 8:05. So 9-ish, 8-ish. I get it.
Technology doesn't like me at all, and it doesn't like you.
No,
I'm surprised you haven't locked up yet during this.
Right. But yeah, full 42 is super fun, and it's funny just to again, we've shared this story before, but I'll share it again. You just never know what's going to happen, right? Because last year at Gen Con, I was working the booth we were working so we could get into the con for free and have a place to stay. And they're like, Tim, you got to see this real-time game.
The mission control.
It's all the way on the other side of the hall.
Yeah.
As soon as you're done, you're going to do it. We're booked. We're going to do it. I'm like, great, let's do it. I walk in. I know nothing about it.
You guys played, right? You came in and played?
We came in and played it, filmed it, and everything.
Yeah.
So, again, we were just like, hey, can we film it, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you guys were all like, yeah, great, awesome, you were wonderful. And we come out of the thing, and we're all kind of just decompressing. You're standing there. I don't know you from anybody.
Yep.
I'm just like, man, that was great, you know. And then we start talking a little bit about Stuff of Legend. And then I think we dip. I come back the next day because I wanted to talk to Corey and Donnie on camera. So we like filmed a little thing there, which I think disappeared into the ether because that never got published.
Oh, no.
Corey or Donnie's still giving me a hard time about it. He's
Go
like,
do it again while they're here. Go do
they're going to be in the booth.
Oh,
so
perfect.
We got him.
Perfect.
But anyways, he still likes to pick on me about it. But then again, I chatted you up more, and then we started talking, and then I was like, oh, I got your Richard Lania story. You know, I got your Batman story, and all that stuff. And then it's like, dang. And then you told me about Full 42. I started just kind of watching Full 42 and commenting, and then next thing you know, it's like, hey, we're doing this thing. Mike, you want to come on and do a thing, be a guest? And it's like, here we are.
Yeah.
And it's just because you just be nice to somebody for a minute.
I am a big fan of people that are doing, no matter where you are, if you're a designer, a developer, an artist, a content creator, if you're doing good things, I want you to continue to do that, and I want people to know about it. And when we started talking at the booth last year, you just had that conversation, and you were like, oh, these are good people. Yeah. And then you start looking at what you're doing, and you're like, yeah, they're doing good things. So good people, good things, I want to know more.
Right, right. And if we're not doing good things, those good people can help you get better. Correct. And start to do the good things, you know, make it better. Yeah. But no, it again, you talk about it all the time, and you're 100% right, is 98% of the people, like your circle just starts to grow. If you let it, it'll grow, and you're going to meet all these great people, all these, like at the booth, we got a prize wheel, we're doing all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm seeing people from earlier, or from previous days, and I'm like, hey, you were here yesterday, you ready to try again? Like, let's go. And I've already got like, even just this much of like a camaraderie with them. Yeah. You know, like we're in it. If I ran out into the hall, you know, and saw somebody and I was playing a game, they might now feel more comfortable to be like, hey,
for sure,
you got a seat, can I play? And it's like, yes, please. Yeah. I can play games with these guys all the time, and I love doing it.
Sure.
But if I can play games with some strangers, even better. You know?
You learn about people.
Then they're not strangers anymore.
No, you're only strangers once. No, you're doing good stuff. Like, this is the first time being on this side. I've been on the show, but looking at what's going on here and the excitement over by the wheel, and it's just fun to, like, this could be a 4-hour thing.
Oh, dude.
Because we'll just start talking.
We could just go.
Right.
That's
so
the thing.
Much. Yeah.
But, and it won't be a 4-hour thing because I'm going to let you go and do
it can't be because you have other people.
We do. But, so we'll wrap it up. But, Mike, you're the best, man.
I don't agree, but thank you.
No, you have to do what Seppi does. Seppi's like, I've had to learn to just take the compliments.
Sure. I appreciate it. I do. I try. So it's good to get that feedback, that reassurance of, you're doing good stuff. Yeah. No, you guys are crushing it. Like, I'm pulling for you guys. It's easy for you to crush it because you're putting good stuff out there. It's a good team.
I
mean,
you have a great team.
Great. Yeah, Dave's great.
You guys have a great team. I need to actually meet more of the other guys because I know you. You know, and some of the other guys. But that'll happen.
You met Mike.
Did I?
I think so.
You're Mike.
I don't know if you met the other Mike. the lesser Mike.
I don't know. Wait, was he the guy running the demos, the mission control demos?
No, that was Keith.
Okay.
In the spacesuit?
Yeah.
That was Keith.
Okay, so I met Keith. I don't think I've met Mike.
DeVito. Okay, and then Dave has been like one of the narratives of Diablo.
Oh, you've told me that.
He's on the team. Yeah. So, like, being able to, like, it's very lucky to, the people that I know and the people that I work with is just, it's stupid.
They connect and, you know, you just sit down and you're like, oh, hey, have you met my friend this? You know, and then it's like boom, boom, boom. And now you're into all
You
these
introduced me to
circles.
Sam from BA.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
That's the only way I know Sam, Mr. U, and Sam's great
people. Yeah, great people. You meet people and you get a good feeling and you're like, that's going to work. Yeah. That's going to work.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well,
I
Mike,
love this industry. So
thank you for giving us your most valuable resource, your time.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate your friendship.
Anytime.
It's awesome, man.
Same.
So, and obviously anything we can ever do. I know, and I feel like we're best friends. You know what I mean? Like, we're so close. I love it.
I pop on your show on Wednesday. Like, I'm in the chat, but I'm like, whatever I'm doing, and you got me laughing. Like, I'm engaged. I want to talk. Like, I look forward to the stuff that we do because it's just fun.
And we're always throwing shade on the 42, commenting. Oh, I'll make one more joke, so it's on camera here. And this is, well, I'm going to start serious, and I'm going to make the joke. Seriously, my biggest Gen Con disappointment is that Chris isn't here for me to meet him in person.
Yeah,
and here's the joke. If he was here, if he was coming, I was gonna bring a CD of Aqua.
Oh yeah.
And make him sign it for me and get a picture of him signing it because I know it would make him so mad.
Oh, make him so pissed.
I love it. And he's a good enough guy, he'd do it. But
He'd show up with a temp tattoo on. The
yeah,
side of his
that
head.
would be so good.
Yeah.
It'd be so good. That's a running joke that I made a comment one night that Chris Strain looks like the lead singer from Aqua, who sings Barbie Girl, which is now
Yeah, the Barbie.
relevant again because of the Barbie movie.
And it's based on one picture of the dude like sitting in a chair
That's
or whatever,
it.
and that screenshot just looks like Chris. And then it was like, yeah, you're right.
Well, because
It
at
looks
first it was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
So like immediately
Yeah.
like run to the
That
internet,
was
get what I
great.
need, pull it down. Here it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I could see it.
Yep.
I think everybody but Chris, even Chris kind of grudgingly acknowledged that it kind of looked like him.
Yep.
So I love it.
No, he's great. I love. My Mondays are completely different now. Looking forward to the show. Like,
Dude, it doesn't
I
matter
decompress, yeah.
how your workday was.
Yeah, Mondays
you
are
get
great.
there,
Yeah.
boom. And if you're lucky, you'll get to see some of Luca's art, and maybe even Luca will pop off, which is always fun.
yeah, him popping on has been fun. It's a little chaotic sometimes.
You
but-
know, it happens.
Yeah.
It's the thing is the people that love the show and enjoy the show, that doesn't bother them,
Right.
you know, because it's part of the charm,
Yeah.
right? So I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah. There's
you know.
nothing wrong with scripted content that's edited and clean
No,
and
it's-
whatever, but having that chaos, I mean, we live in chaos, so
We do.
embrace it.
We do. When
enjoy
you're
it.
filming live from your home,
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Mike. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you,
Always a
man.
pleasure, man.
Always. For the board game rundown, that's this one. I've been Tim.
I'm Ben Mike.
Yes. We'll see you next time. Thank you.